Empire of Sin. I remember this game back from the Nintendo Direct back in like June 2019. And then I'm pretty sure it stopped existing. I wish they had done a better job of showing what this game actually was. I was expecting a twin-stick shooter, but it turns out it's actually 1920s XCOM. XCOM Enemy Within is one of my favorite video games of all time. Top 10 for sure. Had I known that this was one of the most romanticized eras in American history blended with one of my favorite games, I would have been all over it. So, now that I've actually played it, holy crap, this game is rough. Okay, so this is just gonna be one big XCOM compare fest, I guess. So the combat, I love it. Take cover, use 1920s era weaponry to kill guys. Tommy gun, the revolver, you can even have a grandma caving someone's skull with a baseball bat. Very cool. Your health pool is a bit inflated, but so is the enemy count. I slightly prefer XCOM simply because the 1 or 2 hits you can actually force a more strategic approach from you and your enemies. I had a lot of points where a foe just walked behind me with no cover and took a cheap shot before swiftly being turned into a hunk of Swiss cheese. But regardless, the combat is great. While there are changes, the whole game accounts for it. But after the battles, you are thrown into the worst and most confusing gaming UI I have ever faced. So, you're building yourself a mafia empires. Build distilleries, speakeasies, brothels. And you do this by, well, not really walking, but kind of like clicking on places, and then your crew goes to those points. And then there's like this menu to upgrade everything, but I didn't really know how to pull it up. But you can also have your like grandma heal you if you select her, but you also can like deselect your whole group and then have like one person go into the battle, but there's also like, This is where the game fell the frick apart. Imagine in XCOM if you had to manually walk the control room for the missions, and then walk all the way over to the lab to research stuff. And then for the missions, instead of just saying, protect Bruce, you had to like walk to Bruce. Well, not really walk there, but select on a map, and then watch your crew walk there. But not like your whole crew, but only like 2 of your people actually went. Does that sound like one of the worst game experiences of all time? That's because it is. I'm gonna be honest, this game is getting a bronze, but I feel it could have easily gotten a gold or even a platinum if they changed the open world to just menus. Now granted, I didn't play enough to see if there's some value to the open world, like maybe there's some key components that can only be implemented in this type of play space. For example, you can initiate combat anywhere. In fact, in the early game, I did this simply to use the grandma's heal ability between battles. Also, the graphics, not really the best, and the voicing is not that great either.
What have I done to attract such speculation?
A line from the guy, the Mexican guy. But I might give this game another try. There are just so many characters you can choose. This lady looks like she's the funnest to play as, but I ended up using Salazar simply because he has a move that looks like Reaper's ult. You can even play as the goddess of pop himself, Al Capone. Wait, was that one of his nicknames? No, actually it turns out that was Cher. Empire of Sin gets a bronze out of 5. Look, I love the era, I love the character designs, I even love the music, but just the outside of combat is just so irritating and confusing, it really brought the whole game down. Anyways, I've been the PlayStation Platinum Pterodactyl. Have a ritzy day, and I look forward to our next meeting.
And you could have